This episode of Safemoon Knight will cover First Punch, Safemoon Partner of the Day, Blockbusters Tech, LIO, Explained. If you've been able to hack into my computer and survey my feed, congratulations! Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of this content. Leave a comment below as I read and reply to them all. Make sure to share this video to help get the word about Safemoon to others. For more Knight content, follow me on Twitter. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm someone else. I've become something else. I am Safemoon Knight. This video will explain BBTF's liquidity injection operations, but first, we have some cleaning up to do. Safemoon Knight's First Punch. Now, for the First Punch segment, first and foremost, I'd like to go ahead and clear some high expectations that was set forth between some in the Safemoon army. To be more specific, my brothers in arms, Danology and Crypto Atlas. If you haven't done so, make sure to follow Danology on Twitter and subscribe to Crypto Atlas's YouTube channel, as they both provide great intel regarding Safemoon. I'm talking about a tweet Danology put out recently, stating that the Safemoon education team are now pushing the Safemoon card in one of the recent Safemoon lowdowns from February 18th. And similarly, Crypto Atlas put out a video covering this tweet. Although yes, the card was in the lowdown from the 18th, indicated by the Safemoon lowdown from February 18th. If you scroll to the bottom and go a little higher, you see the Safemoon card. However, this does not mean that the Safemoon education team is pushing the registration. I took the liberty to view a few Safemoon lowdowns from the past, and I just chose one at random from a few months ago. I chose this one from October 27th. Sure, if you scroll to the bottom and go up a little bit, here, you see the same Safemoon card mentioned here. And this section has been in every lowdown since. I didn't go back any further because I think this proves my point. Now look, this is no way a dig to Danology or Crypto Atlas, as they are both doing great work for the Safemoon army, but I felt it was necessary to soften expectations, because this unrealized expectation will just fuel the fudders. I like to think of it as checks and balances between us enthusiasts, and I expect the same aimed at me. We're in this together, as we are all part of the Safemoon army. This is part of staying vigilant. Now, on to the next segment. Safemoon Partner of the Day. Now, the BBTF liquidity injection operation. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due. I hunted down the origin of this diagram, and it led me to CryptoKoi, Safemoon for me too. Seems like he was the creator of this diagram. If I'm wrong, leave me in the comment section below and let me know. This diagram is very confusing for some, but broken down, it makes a lot more sense. Now, jumping into the actual diagram. Full disclosure, this diagram isn't complete, as it is missing the blue chip Ethereum on the coins there, but will suffice to allow you to understand BBTF's LIO. I'm gonna assume you have at least a little knowledge on BBTF and wMPROTOCol and how they're interrelated. This diagram looks pretty large. However, I want to focus on only this section here, and we'll get to the LIO later. This is how BBTF works. The investor buys BBTF or sells BBTF, which then produces volume for BBTF. If you are a holder of BBTF, you will get rewards depending on the volume for BBTF. Here, the breakdown is 1.5% of volume will be given in Safemoon, 1% is TBD, 1% MetaBUSD, 1% in EverReflect, 1% in Reflecto, 1% in Glow. And if you look closely at Glow here, if you're a Glow holder, Glow will give you BBTF rewards as well. So right there is a mirror. What do I mean by a mirror? I mean, if you own BBTF, BBTF will give you Glow. If you own Glow, Glow will give you BBTF, and so on and so forth, and it will be a never-ending cycle of rewards. And now, this is where the mirror protocol comes into play. According to this diagram, BBTF will give 1.5% of its volume to you in the form of the mirror protocol. However, the mirror protocol isn't just one token. The mirror protocol is a collection of 7 different tokens. These 7 different tokens mimic 7 different blue chip coins. ADA, Matic, Link, XRP, Bitcoin, BNB, and Ethereum, which is not listed here. Now here on these blue chip buys is where the Mirror Protocol lives, and this is where you can see the Mirror Protocol and BBTF relationship. At the bottom here, if you have Mirror Protocol BNB, it'll give you back 1% in its volume BBTF tokens. And above, if you have MP Bitcoin, that volume will give you 1% BBTF tokens, and so on and so forth. And here you can see a mirror. But what does this mirror mean? Just like the glow token below, if you're a holder of BBTF, BBTF will give you, in rewards, MP BNB, MP Bitcoin, MP XRP, MP Link, MP Matic, MP ADA, and MP Ethereum. Well, if you're an owner of any of these Mirror Protocols, the Mirror Protocol token, depending on its volume, will give you BBTF rewards. So there you go, a full reflective mirror, a never-ending loop of rewards. Now it's true, BBTF volume is dependent on holders buying and holders selling the token. So some may ask, well, at some point the volume will stop. Why would holders be selling BBTF if it gives them free rewards? And those rewards giving them more BBTF. So the volume will probably dry up on the sell side of things. And at some point, the BBTF purchases have to slow down because the circulating supply will go down, shoot the price up, therefore the demand drops. Just basic economics. So the question must be asked, where is the volume coming from for BBTF? Well, this is where the LIO, or liquidity injection operation, comes in. Let's take a look. Taking a look only at the LIO won't suffice. Why? Because you have to know what BBTF is doing in order to understand the LIO. Well, what is BBTF doing? BBTF is not just a token, no. Mentioned in one of my previous dataset videos, I told you that BBTF was going to have a whole suite of services. They call that software as a service, or if you look here, SaaS. And you also see TaaS, which is tokenomics as a service. Well, what is TaaS, or tokenomics as a service? Well, it's also a service that produces revenue. Web 2 companies can hire BBTF to help them convert to a Web 3 company and also tokenize them, all while using the BBTF services. Nice. So that's tokenomics as a service. But what's software as a service? Well, if you think about it, Norton Antivirus is a software as a service. Things like Netflix is a software and it's a service, and so on and so forth. So what does that mean for BBTF? That means BBTF has to create softwares as a service. Well, here you can see that BBTF already has 8 subsidiary businesses: Aligner, DocuPact, Freelancer, WPBSC, DeFi Bills, Global, Smart Staker, Bit Harvester, and Reflecto, with 30 projects planned altogether. And I have a hunch that bite-sized blocks is another one. Back to the diagram. So what does this mean for BBTF? So what? They have 30 subsidiary businesses being planned for BBTF. How does this help the LIO or the investors? Well, I'll tell you. Each one of these subsidiary businesses will be revenue-producing companies. Any company that's currently Web 2 and wants to transition over to Web 3 can do so with the help of BBTF subsidiary businesses. By the way, we're currently in Web 2, and the future does reside in Web 3. Well, any small or large company that wants to stay current will have to be in Web 3, and they'll have to convert. And if they don't know how to do so themselves, well, they have a company like BBTF with a whole suite of services to help them convert to Web 3. And not just help them convert, but to help them sustain a Web 3 presence with all of their services. But what does this mean for LIO and BBTF? Yeah, let's dive a little deeper. I'll give you a hypothetical situation on how this helps explain how this all melts together. Let's say there's a large company, and let's call this company Tease Mobile. And let's say they're currently Web 2, and they need to get over to Web 3. Well, they have to look for a company like BBTF to help them convert. They'll go ahead and subscribe to or hire BBTF to give them the services that Aligner has to offer, DocuPact has to offer, Freelancer has to offer, DeFi Bills, Global, so on and so forth. But what does this mean? These are all revenue-producing subsidiaries. So let's say Tease Mobile hires BBTF for Aligner, DocuPact, and Freelancer. And let's say this is about $100,000 worth a month in services. That's $100,000 per month, or $1.2 million in revenue for BBTF. Nice. Well, that's just one company. Let's say there's 10 companies, Yeah, that's right. 10 companies generating the same revenue for BBTF. That's $12 million in revenue per year, or $1 million in revenue per month for BBTF. Great. BBTF now is producing great revenue for the month or for the year, but how does this relate to LIO and BBTF holders? Let's just take the $1 million a month and break that down. Take 25% of that $1 million, which is $250,000. That goes back to BBTF operation costs. But what happens to the other 75%? This is where things get juicy. BBTF will take that 75% of all revenue. 75% of all revenue. I'll say it one last time. BBTF will take 75% of all revenue that the subsidiary businesses produce for BBTF, and they will put it back into BBTF. Well, how will they put it back into the BBTF? This is where the LIO comes in. Now you have $750,000. Split that in half. So you'll have $375,000. BBTF will purchase BNB with that $375,000. Then they'll take the other half, the other $375,000, and buy BBTF tokens from the open market and pair it with the BNB and inject it into the liquidity. Thus, the liquidity injection operation. So what does this mean for you as a holder and for BBTF? 1. The liquidity pairing means that liquidity for BBTF keeps going up, higher and higher. Well, when Safemoon does liquidity injections, what happens to the price of Safemoon? Now imagine an operation that does nothing but increase the liquidity of Blockbuster's tech. Nice. And in doing so, BBTF will have to purchase their own tokens from the open market. That means that with this hypothetical with T's Mobile, BBTF will be purchasing $375,000 worth of BBTF tokens from the open market. Well, what happens when tokens are purchased from the open market? That's right, they're removed from the circulating supply, and that's right, the price goes up. Now that you have a better understanding of how the LIO is implemented in BBTF and the volume, it's easier to see that the BBTF volume is not only based on investor buys and sells. In fact, it will be more heavily reliant on the LIO, because that's where most of the revenue will be coming from. Therefore, the only way BBTF will not be successful is if no other companies out there want to go to Web3, which is extremely unlikely. And to see that BBTF is first to market with all these softwares as a service, only one word comes to mind: bullish. So yeah, for people that say, well, the BBTF volume will die out because no one's gonna buy or sell BBTF, sure, fine, whatever. But they're forgetting the major portion of this whole thing, which is the LIO. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. We're definitely making gains in the subscribers. Thank you, Safemoon Army. If you like viewing this content, make sure to subscribe and punch that notification bell so you're aware when I release my next dataset video. Please share this video to help get the news on Safemoon and its partners to others. And make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest news on Safemoon as it's happening. We're growing more and more every day. For all those who follow, retweet, comment, like, spread the word of Safemoon, and spread the word of my message, Alfred and I sincerely thank you. Look, Safemoon's building quite the galaxy, with partners like wMPROTOCOL, Blockbuster's Tech, Grove, and the others. But now, they're starting to put a mark on just about every industry who wants to be in Web3. That's bullish to me. Stay vigilant, stay patient, stay Safemoon, and I'll stay Safemoon Knight. One last thing, this entire volume-driven ecosystem, when ready, will be put on the Safemoon blockchain.